Brothers, what is going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another classic, classic live stream. First and foremost, can you please press a one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear? How's my audio? Tony, can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. So I think we're
Okay,
good there,
perfect,
bro.
perfect,
So
perfect.
let's make sure the brothers in the live stream chat can hear us both loud and clear. So,
Right.
brothers, how's my audio right now? Before I go any further, press one to chat. Who's in the building?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cozy ET. Can I get a couple more ones just to make sure I'm good across the board? Who else is here? Please press a one. Let's go. Okay, thank you, Charlie. Let's go. All right, so welcome, brothers, to another classic live stream. I'm a gracious host, Mr. International Passport. I want to say first and foremost, thank you to all those that have supported the channel and the movement over the past couple of years. Your support has been greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard the new people. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. As soon as you come in, please like the video. Please like the video. Likes are extremely important. Please, of course, hit the super chats tonight, donate via the PayPal, cop the merch too, and of course, like the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's get straight into it. In this live stream, brothers, I have a very special guest here with me called Mr. Tony, who is currently dating a Brazilian woman from Recife, Brazil. So we'll be
Recife.
breaking down Recife. Sorry, bro.
Recife. It's really pronounced Recife because in Portuguese, the R at the beginning of a word is pronounced like an H. Only reason I knew this is because I used to watch a lot of MMA and they talk about the Gracie family and all that. So, but my apologies. Go ahead. So,
Oh, thank you for the correction, bro.
yeah.
So we'll speak about his experience dating a Brazilian woman, what it's like having a Brazilian girlfriend, what it was like going to Brazil, the culture, why brothers should travel to Brazil, the good and bad, food, culture, transportation, etc., etc. But before we speak on that, let's get Tony to please introduce himself, where he's from, anything special about your brother, and we're going from there.
All right. First and foremost, thank you for having me on your platform. Big fan of yours. My name is Tony. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm currently residing there. Basically, I grew up. I was not necessarily into the whole stereotypes and everything, and so because of that, I was a bit of an outcast. Once I got taller and got my braces off in my 20s, I got a little bit of attention, but I wasn't really getting that type of love. And I knew something was off because I'm like, I was told if you get in shape, have a good job, and look halfway decent, you shouldn't have a problem. I knew something was wrong in this country, even back then in 2010. So joined the service, joined the Navy, ex-Navy, did 4 years, got a good job, got out. And then I was like, you know what? I want to travel as a civilian. It's time to start traveling as a civilian. So I thought of Brazil because I at first heard of Brazil from a guy. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Charles Tyler. He said the black man's option. And this was back in like 2015. And I was like, oh, Brazil might be the ticket. And so finally, after years of putting it off and procrastinating, I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna get my passport and I'm gonna go. And my first time going to Brazil, I had a great time. I enjoyed myself for 2 weeks. So
Wow, amazing. I'm going to break down your time there in Brazil.
okay.
So, you currently have a Brazilian girlfriend, which is awesome.
Yes.
Um, how did you meet this Brazilian girlfriend, brother, first and foremost?
So we were introduced through a former coworker of mine. We were introduced. I will admit that. It wasn't like I went down there and talked to her and pulled her. No, we had been speaking for the better part of I'm gonna say a year and a half, and essentially, last year I would have seen her sooner if not for last year. A lot of deaths in my family, a lot of loved ones I lost, shipmates I had to bury, car trouble. It was a litany of issues that kept me from going ahead and applying for the passport. Plus, back then, we were still on the heels of the pandemic, so wait times were like 8 to 12 weeks. Well, beginning of this year, I finally said I'm gonna do this for me. I'm gonna get my passport. I'm gonna travel 4 weeks I got my passport. I think I sent you a picture in the on Instagram right
Hmm.
after I followed you, and I started watching some of your content, and then bought my ticket, flew down there, and I had me a ball. We basically started, me and this girl, we this woman, we were talking, and we got closer, emotionally as the days wound down to me flying down to go see her. And once I went and saw her, it was everything the way that she acted was consistent with everything we've been talking about before. So
Amazing, amazing, bro. So, how's it like dating a Brazilian woman? And I want to expand on that a bit more, brother, because Brazil has always been of interest to me, and of course, the Brazilian woman. I am in love. I am totally infatuated with the peanut butter brown skin,
oh yeah.
curly hair. The bikini body. How's it like dating a Brazilian woman, brother?
It is like you have somebody that, in a nutshell, I can say it's like this: dating a Brazilian woman is it's one of the it's astronomically better than dating somebody from the U.S. or the U.K. Astronomically, and I say that because it's just there are things that they do for you that you never even would expect or imagine. In addition to the fact that they have a really good fitness culture, so all their bodies are going to be tight. Every last
Damn.
one, almost like I say, 3 out of 4, they're going to be in good shape. And that 25% that's not, it's probably because they're a little older.
Wow. Amazing, bro. So your Brazilian girlfriend, right? What do you get from her? Do you get femininity, submissiveness,
Yes,
cooperation?
a lot of
Break it down.
cooperation. So
Mm.
basically, we started talking, and I said, "Hey, I'm thinking of eventually leaving America anyway." And she was all about it because the stereotype that the B dubs like to give us is that, oh, they just want you for a green card. This woman does not want a green card. She doesn't want to leave her home country at all. And so me wanting to leave, what she suggested was in alignment with what I wanted to do. Basically, that's cooperation right there. So uh, I got cooperation. I got a lot of femininity. That's just natural. It's not something that they have to all of a sudden decide that they want to rest in. No, they're automatically like that. That comes straight from the factory. It definitely is, Romel. It's definitely through the roof. They are feminine, they are fit, and they are friendly.
Amazing,
That's
brother.
what you get.
Let me read the super chat real quick, brother. And also, Tony, avoid speaking on the
Oh,
live stream comments, brother.
my
Especially
apologies.
when it comes to super chats. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Ramel for the £2 super chat. That femininity must be through the roof. Jeez, yes, indeed, man. And thank you for the support, Ramel. And brothers, please send in some support. That'd be greatly appreciated. And pivoting from that question, brother, peace of mind. I think that's very important when you deal with a woman who doesn't nag you, who doesn't annoy you. Do you get that peace of mind from a Brazilian woman?
Yes, I do. With the one I'm dealing with my girlfriend now. She gives me peace. I get a lot of peace. There's no conflict. There's no harping and nagging about some things. When I say that I'm going to do something, she's like, okay, and she never brings it up again.
Amazing, bro. Does she cook and can she clean?
Yes, she's incredibly clean. Always, she definitely can cook. She even said that she wanted to learn what my favorites were so she could cook them.
Damn. This is amazing, bro. So obviously, brother, for me, right, physical appearance is very important, right? We don't want a fat chick. I'll be honest with you. We don't date fat chicks here or beach chicks. That's not happening, right? We want a cute, slim, thick chick, thick thighs, but not too thick, right? So, what kind of body type does your girlfriend have? Does she have the typical Brazilian beach bum body?
So she's a little more petite than the average Brazilian woman, but I just be keep it PG. She does have curves, and it's all natural.
Wow. Wow. So it sounds like it's great so far, right? Obviously, you've dealt with American woman. What makes her different from American woman? What are American women not doing that have made you step out the line, become a passport bro, and got you a Brazilian baddie?
It has everything to do from the gaslighting to the not taking accountability to a lot of things that American women do that just get under your skin that they tried to condition us to accept. Okay, especially with the advent of this new Color Purple movie that they're trying to reboot. A lot of nonsense that we have to we're conditioned to accept. The unpleasant disposition. My girlfriend, it's night and day. It's night and day. And speaking to her again, she's pleasant, she's friendly, always happy to hear from me, was happy to see me, you know. And it wasn't like there was some toll for talking to her. It wasn't like I had to, you know, cash her out or anything. It's not like she was asking me. She hasn't asked me for one red cent.
Wow, amazing, bro. So I want to understand the dynamics between you and your girlfriend in the
Okay.
relationship, because would you say you are the provider, or would you go 50-50 with her and she's still submissive to you? Break it down.
So this is what was interesting to me when I first went down there. I guess she thought that I didn't have things set up to where I could, my card will work or anything. And I was trying to like tell her, like, no, babe, listen, like I talked to my bank before I left the country. My card's gonna work. Like, relax, I got this. And because my thing is if I ask somebody out, I'm gonna pay. But as far as everything is concerned, she mostly would purchase some things. Like one, I mean, she bought me dinner a couple times. I didn't even expect it. And even still was still submissive. Even still.
Wow.
Right. And it's not even like I didn't have the money to, I'm not gonna travel if I don't have no money. I was like, hey, like let's get something to eat. I'm thinking I'm gonna get us something to eat. She immediately pulled her app up and ordered us something, you know. So so
Wow.
that's right. And I mean, that surprised me. I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, you know, it was confusing because typically up here it's always like, hey, yeah, where you taking me? And it better be this, it better be that. No, no. If anything, she rarely wanted, she isn't even the partying type, isn't even the type that likes to go out.
Wow. Amazing, bro. And just make you aware, brothers, the explicit version of this stream is on the Patreon right now. We went deep as to what gets done in the bedroom with Brazilian women. The brother broke it down to an absolute T. So if you want to know how freaky and pleasurable having a Brazilian woman is in the bedroom, especially how they treat black men in the bedroom, go and check that out on Patreon right now. So let me ask this, brother, right? In terms of like communication, I think that's very important, right? Because currently for me in Japan, right, I feel like a lot of the chicks here don't know English that well, and it kind of makes it difficult to communicate with them. And the connection you have, you can get lost, right? So how
Okay.
do you both communicate, bro?
So she wanted to learn English. So I'm helping her with her English. And with the way we fill in the gaps is we use WhatsApp and there's a you if most phones now you hit the little three dots in the taskbar, you can translate into whatever language from your language, and so that's how we communicate. um she's been doing that a lot, trying to communicate in English, and I guess to help her understand, so we communicate through a lot of through the translation apps.
Okay. So so I feel like when you deal with a foreign chick, right, I feel like you have to come to an agreement as to what language you're going to speak and communicate with all the time or most of the times, right? So have you
Right.
chosen English or have you chosen Portuguese for that business?
We've chosen English for if there's something that I want to be emphatic about so that she would like really understand. I translate into Portuguese sometimes and tell her like, look, this is what I mean specifically, because there's some things that do get lost in translation. So so basically, it's been, from the time that we've spoken, it's always been something that we established early on what we would do. She made it explicitly clear that she wanted to get good at English. So, for the most part, I speak in English for her so she can learn through real time. And
Awesome.
when I was down there, I spoke a lot in English and I would, explain things and give her little lessons here and there.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Ramel Diaz for the £2 super chat. Thank you, Ramel, for the support again. Second time tonight. Appreciate you, brother. Just because, keep up the good work, IP. Thank you for the kind words, bro. Much appreciated, Ramel. Awesome. Thank you, brother. So this is great intel so far, brother. Now I want to ask you, brother, about you know your vetting procedures for this woman, right? Obviously not all women are perfect, right? So
Was
how did you vet this chick right before making her your girl?
so what I did was I looked for consistency over everything else. I looked for consistency, I looked for friendliness, I looked for pleasantness. And she's been consistent. She is friendly to me and she is pleasant. Anything that she's um anything that she said she was going to do, she had done it. A lot of the times it's not like I would necessarily ask for her to do certain things. She would do things that I didn't even ask for, but would give that reassurance that she's just for me and not for everybody. That was the first thing I did. I ensured that she was just for me because there's some that like to hustle you. I've heard some horror stories, but again, they're minute. Second thing I did was I saw how she looked at the idea of commitment. I looked at the what did she think of things like marriage and were her views for what marriage looked like in alignment with mine.
Okay, awesome, bro. What about her views on Western culture, America? Because obviously American culture is
She
popular all around. Does she take it
well,
in, or is she against it?
she does not like how hyper materialistic the West is. She is not materialistic at all. And she thinks that if I may speak on this topic, I mean, if not, you can, stop me. She thinks that American women are crazy. She thinks they're all crazy. She's like, there's no way that someone should think the way that most women in America think.
Why does she feel like they're crazy? Why?
Because she believes that, again, the materialism and the unpleasantness and just the hostility towards men is something that's untenable. She doesn't think that that's smart, for lack of a better term.
Fantastic, brother. Awesome. So, what are what are the favorite things or the good things you like about your girlfriend currently, brother?
So currently I like how she always checks up on me just to make sure that I'm okay. I like how she can actually hold a conversation too. Like we get into a lot of deep topics. Um I also like how, you know, she ain't got no kids. That's one of the main things. That's one of the main things. Because I'm sorry, it's like currently, you know how it is. You expect it if you have means, if you're a person with means, as I am, or you are, it's like you're expected to play stepdaddy role. And if you're not, they try to say that you're less of a man because of it. With her, I don't get that. She has no children, doesn't really want kids, which that's in alignment with me. Not a lot of people are going to go for that, but for the most part, she doesn't come with any baggage, and she's accountable. She's self accountable.
Wow, amazing, bro. Going on from that, brother. What are the things you don't like about her, or let's say Brazilian women in general? Is it they're too passionate, they're too emotional? Break it down for us, bro.
So if there was a gripe that I did have, it's like sometimes the emotions can be like it can snowball into something that is not that serious. You know, case in point, there was a hiccup when I was about to take off, and she thought that I was just trying to back out and not come down. So I basically just was like, "Hey, look, I'm coming down here. I'm just getting rebooked. That's all I have to do. Just relax." And I stayed on the phone with her, and I FaceTimed her and I said, "Look, this is what's going on right now. You see where I am. I'm not leaving the airport. All right, you know." And then I showed her the second boarding pass, and she calmed down after that. But the thing about it is, at times, sometimes she can kind of get like she can her imagination will run away from her sometimes, and that's why I just gotta reel her in.
Amazing, amazing.
But the
Mm.
thing is, she gets back on an even keel once I like communicate with her, like, look, hey, look, we're not doing this today, you know.
Damn. So, um, let me widen the scope of this stream now. Okay, so you were in Recife for a
Receive
couple of
a
weeks,
yes.
brother.
Yes.
What were your first? What are your first impressions of Recife? What can you tell the brothers about Recife that is good, and then that's also bad as well as at the same time?
Okay. So the thing about Recife is this: it's in a region called Pernambuco. Uh, it's a little out the way. It's not a party town. It's not a city where you're going to have 304s and stuff running around. Most of the people are pretty much genuine. They will help you out. You got street corner vendors with coconut water selling it to you for the low. I love it. It's awesome. That's what I like about it. What I'm not too keen on is how, as far as the plumbing and the water system, is not necessarily up to the standard of what you might be used to. So, not to sound cliche, if you're going to Recife, don't drink the water.
Okay, awesome, bro. Now, what about the weather, the food, and the culture? I want to know those three.
Okay.
How is it like there,
Okay.
brother?
So the weather is humid. It's tropical area. It's under the equator, a few latitudes. So it's hot. It's going to be hot. Wear linen, not denim. Um, the food delicious. There's these things called tapiocas, where it's basically your choice of meat, cheese, in this wrap that's made of like cassava bread or something like that, and a tortilla. It's delicious. Love it. I love it. It's really good. Um, I also like how, again, they have a strong fitness culture, not just in Recife, but for most of the country. But the people there are incredibly friendly, and they will help you out if you're lost or you're trying to find something. They will do what they can to help you get to where it is that you need to go. That's one of the things. And as far as the culture is concerned, again, the people are relatively friendly. People speak to you, and it's a good vibe all around. You can go there, and even if you really ain't looking for women, you just gonna have a good time because everybody's pleasant.
Wow. So the woman there in Recife, right? Obviously, you were with your girlfriend there, but I'm sure you were doing some scoping around, looking around to see, okay, what these women like, right? Can you tell us how the Brazilian women in Recife are like? Because we have Inton, Rio woman, Sao Paulo woman, but the women in Recife, how are they like, brother?
So they're a bit more reserved than Sao Paulo or Rio might be, but they are still choosing signals. They're still pretty much open as far as brothers specifically. They will check for you. They will look at you. They will give you choosing signals if that's what you're looking for. And again, most of them are fit. An overwhelming majority of them are fit. Like 3 out of 4 are going to be fit. And if they're not fit, they're probably elderly or like just had a few kids. But even still, women with kids, they're going to be in pretty decent shape. And you get all types of colors walking up and down the street.
Wow. So break down the race of women there in Recife, bro.
So you
Is it
only
mostly black women? Go on.
yeah, so you get blacks. Blacks make up about like 14% of the population in at least in Recife, from what I can not actually look this up. And the thing about the race or the color scheme, you get the typical light skinned Brazilian that you see. You get a couple of ones that are going to be like real pale, and you get the brown ones, and then you get the dark skinned ones. As far as the dark skinned ones, you see them, but you don't see as many as you might see the typical brown or light skinned Brazilian. So, and a
Wow.
lot of them are in great shape. I wanted to like reiterate that.
Wow. Safety there. Is it safe there in Recife?
Well, if you exercise common sense, you will be safe. I noticed that if I'm gonna hit on something, that another thing I kind of don't like, some of those areas look like some not so safe places in the cities of North America. But again, it's just because there still is a lot of Brazil was coming out of a long period where every most people were in abject poverty. So you have to take that into consideration. But there are places that don't seem too safe, but I wasn't going to hang around to find out. Don't wear any flashy jewelry and you pretty much are going to be okay. But again, I didn't really have any issues because I'd walk up and down the street and nothing happened to me. So
Wow. Amazing intel so far, bro. I'm almost at the end of my questions. I'll get the phone lines to open up. But I'm liking what I hear about how it's like to date a Brazilian woman, how the culture is like in Recife. So it's sounding good so far. So let me ask this, brother, right? What next for you and your girlfriend? Is it marriage? Is it more dating? Break it down for us, bro.
so we are planning on eventually getting married sometime next year, because we had been talking for a long time. I vetted her. I just needed to see if I could stand her for an extended period of time. And I could stand her for an extended period of time. But more than that, I enjoyed it so much to where I left with a feeling of peace. I didn't leave with any headaches. Um, Basically, I'm in a place mentally where I feel comfortable saying this one is a strong possibility of being the person that I am going to tie the knot with. And if not, that's fine, because guess what? There's 100 of her walking the street of Recife.
So she's easily replaceable, huh?
Replaceable, yes, as far as the way that she looks. Now, her personality, I don't know. I'll have to do the vetting process again.
Hmm.
But for the most part, she's pleasant. I love being around her and I enjoy her company.
How long uh did you vet her for, and how long have you known her for? So I'm guess is that so you're getting married next year, right? 2024.
Right.
Has this been like a 3 year knowing each other, 2 years? Break it
Yeah,
down
for
for
the
us, bro.
most part. November will make it 2 years since I've known her. I met her in 2021. We were texting back and forth. We would call each other. Um, and during that process, that's when I vetted her. As soon as I meet somebody, I vet them.
Hmm.
That's just standard practice with me. Even if nothing comes of it, even if I don't really have any intentions, I vet this person to see, can I even have this person in my circle,
Hmm.
right? So I know I can trust her with I can trust her for the most part. There's not She hasn't given me any reason not to. And that's not saying that I like there were things that had me concerned. No, it was always consistency with her and honesty. And she's a genuine person.
Amazing. So last question for me, brother, is obviously you're doing long distance with her because you're not in Brazil right now.
Right, right.
How has that been like? And what's your advice to brothers? Because I'll be honest with you, brother, I feel like long distance can be quite common on this channel. So brothers go to a foreign country, they find a good girl there, they're with her for a week, come out to the US. It may take several months until they see her again. So what's the best way to do long distance, brother? How long do you text each other? Is it once a day, once a week? And what's your advice to brothers who want to do long distance?
So if you want to do long distance, first you had to decide if that's really what you want. If you really want to deal with this person, especially if they've shown that they have a genuine interest in you. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you want to do it, make sure again that this person is consistent. Like me and my girl, we text throughout the day. You know, I say, hey, look, I'm about to hit the gym. I'm gonna hit you when I'm done. She'd be like, okay. And because she's in school right now, it's not much of an issue. But the distance, I mean, we have discussed that. And I said, look, let me know right now if this is not what you want. Let me know if you can't handle this. And she showed me more than told me that she could handle it, that she was okay with this, that she was, going to be all the way through with it. So that's the best advice I can give. You have to decide how often you want to text your girl throughout the day. It could be once or twice, or it could be, a few times a week. If you're fine with that, then you can do it. But if not, then make sure that when you do go to this country to meet whoever, make sure that you're moving there permanently. Because I'm in the process right now of getting everything together to get down there permanently.
Okay, so you want to live in
Yes,
so
I
you so,
will.
you,
I
so
will. Well, we don't want to live in Recife. We want to live further towards the south because she doesn't like the heat very much. So
I respect that, bro. Much better than bringing her back to America where she'd be poisoned by Keisha, Becky, all these crazy ideas, bro. You don't want to do
right,
that, right?
right. Don't bring them home.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Um, this is great intel, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So let's get the phone lines open up, brothers. So like, once again, if you want to hear the explicit version, we're holding back a lot right now because there's a lot to this conversation. But that's only on the Patreon. So join the Patreon to hear the explicit and X-rated version of the stream where we go deep, deep into Brazilian woman and his Brazilian girlfriend. Um, please get the super chats and likes up. Please support the movement and what I'm doing. There's more Japan content coming this week and next week. I'm getting a lot of intel for you, brothers, so please support. Okay, so let's get the phone lines open up. And once again, you want to get into IT, book a consultation with me on my calendar schedule. Join either the platinum tier or the bronze IT tier or the IP lightning tier to get on a mentorship plan with me to get you into IT, etc., etc. Cop the merch too, but show support to this channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, let's get the phone lines open up. So, call in our brothers if you have any questions regarding this stream. His girlfriend Recife. If you can't call in, you must hit the PayPal and the super chats to get your question read out. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay, awesome. Um, so why wait for a caller, bro? Um, have you met her parents yet? Has she met your parents?
No, she's seen my parents. My parents have seen her. They've spoken to her on the phone, but they've never actually like full on met in person. I haven't met her mother at all yet.
Okay, okay, awesome. Um, this is maybe one day we get you and her in a stream together.
Right, right, right. Hopefully.
That would be awesome. In Brazil. Uh,
Right.
so okay. So when do you plan to permanently move to Brazil, or when do you plan on seeing her again? Do you have like a set schedule? Do you plan
Yeah,
on seeing her every
so
5 months?
around my birthday, which is like 14th of February next year, that's when I plan on being down there to see her again. And
Damn.
then yeah, it's a while. Like we both like, dang, it's tough because I'm going to school for cybersecurity now. She's in school for nursing. So we're both kind of like we both know that like our schedules are kind of it would clash with that. It wasn't a strain necessarily, but she really wished that when I came down, she had time off because she would have to go to school like in the morning and then she'd come back late at night, and then we, hang out, do whatever, and then, go to sleep, wake up, do it all over again, except for on the weekends, where she took me to another town, like one town over, Olinda, which is like this old town with a lot of churches and narrow cobblestone streets. It looked like something out of The Godfather the whole time. But
Yeah.
right, right.
Let me ask you, brother, right? February is a long time, right? So there must be a lot of trust here. You're not going to be with her, right, from now to all the time in February, 7 months. She's a woman. Women always get attention, bro, whether she has a boyfriend or not a boyfriend. Do you trust her to be faithful, brother?
I trust her to be faithful for the time being, yes. Unless I start seeing things that give me reason not to. And I'm still, even though, like, yes, I'm enjoying being with her and I enjoy talking to her and enjoy having her in my life, I'm also realistic. I also understand that something could happen. Basically, I'm looking at it like this: it ain't mine, it's just my turn.
Mm,
Until, again, I'm down there, we get married, and then, we further progress this.
awesome, bro. Fantastic. I see you, Ramel. You confirmed. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Ayisa A for the $4.99 super chat. Congrats on your success in Brazil, bro. Flames. Is it worth it to learn Portuguese in Brazil or through apps, videos, classes?
I say either way is fine as long as you're consistent with it. Like, I'm not in Brazil right now, so I have the Duolingo set up on my phone, and so that's how I'm trying to learn. But I did pick up a lot. I picked up some down when I was in Brazil. So either way is fine. I think you can learn from an app, but it's a whole lot better when you're down there because you pick up more.
Wow, great answer there. Thank you very much, Tony. Mr. Remo, give me a thumbs up. That I bring you on with your camera on. Is that okay? Okay, awesome, bro. Let me bring in Mr. Remo in the background. What's going on, Remo? How you doing, bro?
How you doing, brother? I'm good. Yourself?
What's going on, man?
Fantastic, brother. Great shirt, brother.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll just come back from training. How you doing, brother? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, fam. Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I came in late. Can I get your name, brother?
Oh, I'm Tony.
Nice to meet you, Tony. Tony, I just wanted to salute you, man. I was listening to your stream, really
Thanks a lot.
interesting. Well, you got your head screwed on right, man. You're making some good points. You're a very articulate brother. I
Thank
like
you. I
what you
appreciate
think,
that.
man. I wanted to show some respect.
Hey, man, appreciate that. Props, mad props. I appreciate that a lot, man. Real talk.
Respect, man. I had a couple questions. So as soon as I
Sure.
saw Brazil, I jumped on. So me personally, there's 4 countries I'm looking at right now: Asia, Korea, and Japan, South America, Colombia, and Brazil. I plan on bouncing between these 4 for the rest of life. So it sounds like Recife is a bit more low key than Rio, which is kind
Yeah.
of actually sounding like a good thing to me. So I wanted to ask, brother, firstly, in terms of language barrier, how difficult is it over there?
Well, because I went to school and I took Spanish and I took Mandarin in high school. I don't know why the hell I took Mandarin, but because I took Spanish in high school, I thought, oh, it's just the easy transition, both for Romance languages. No, no, it's not. There are rules in Portuguese that are a little different than Spanish, and you have to get accustomed to it. There's some phrases I have, like I know obrigado or obrigada. Well, the women say obrigada, but I know that means thank you. As far as hola, that means hello. It is a bit of a language barrier, but here's what I recommend. This actually helped me out. You pull up Google Translate on your phone.
Mm.
If you're in the area and your phone is working and you need something, you type something in from English translated to Portuguese and you show it to somebody and they will point you in the right direction. I did it at a supermarket actually.
That makes sense. I speak Spanish, so you think it'd be easy to learn Portuguese, but it's not. It's
It's
actually,
not.
it's very, Portuguese is
Right,
much harder, much harder.
right, right.
Brother, I wanted to ask on another stream that IP did about Brazil. The question of feminism came up, and that it was
Okay.
creeping into Rio. I know Rio's a major metropolis. So I wasn't sure if it was just a one-off thing there. What's your take on it? Is it something to be worried about? Is it not that much of a big deal? Is it exaggerated? What do you think?
In Recife, no, not yet, which is odd because they say in the north that's where the feminism is bad. Pernambuco, well, Recife, Pernambuco is in the north. I would say this because ironically, my girlfriend identifies as a feminist, but she doesn't act like one. At least not in the sense of the Anglosphere, if you catch what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know it's a trend with foreign women. They say they're feminists, but I think they're actually just thinking more on the gender equality section. They don't
Right.
actually know it as the way we know it in the West.
Right. Then it's not the third wave and fourth wave feminism that we're experiencing. So she says she's a feminist. Now, you tell me if this sounds like a feminist to you. I caught the traveler's dysentery, right? Don't drink the water. That's what I said. I got sick. I wasn't feeling good. She leaves the hotel room, comes back 15 minutes later with all this medication, right? All this stuff to settle my stomach, and basically nursed me back to health, put a wet towel on my head and everything. Does that sound like a feminist to you?
Sounds like a winner.
Don't sound like a feminist to me. So, with that being said, there may be feminism there, but I didn't see much of it.
Okay, I'll just wrap this up with the last two quick questions in case anyone else wants to call in. Like IP said, cultural diversity sounds pretty big in Brazil. You got all different shades and types of
Yes.
women. I love me a gym girl, fit chick. So when you said that they're all fit over there, straight away I was like, ding, 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 green flag. That sounds like Ramel all over. Could you speak on that, brother? Because I've heard, I've never been. I'm planning a trip to Brazil for January. This coming
Okay.
January. I have heard good things about Brazilian women always taking care of themselves. Is that
Yes.
true?
100%. Mine in particular, she is in great shape. She's in incredible shape. She doesn't even like the shape she's in. She wants to get in better shape than she is now.
Mm,
I
okay.
mean, and I'm talking about it's barely a pinch of fat on her,
Mm,
barely, right?
amazing.
And I'm talking about, and that's her, and then there's the other ones. We were on the beach my last day down there. Everybody was bikini ready, like it was just a regular thing.
Amazing. And final one for me, brother. Um, I see. I've seen, especially in Sao Paulo, Brazil's coming up as a well-known IT space for digital nomads. So that's one of the reasons why it's heavy on my list as places to relocate to. But until that time comes, I'd like to go there, visit, maybe establish some relationships like yourself. The one thing I wanted to ask, brother, in your opinion, how loyal are the women in Brazil? I know in Rio, again, being a major metropolis, it could be hit and miss. But
Right,
as you've been to smaller locations, in any country, the main city is going to be different from the country itself.
right,
Like,
right,
for
right, right.
example, I spent some time in Korea, and I can honestly say Korean women are very loyal and feminine. But in Seoul, the major city, you do get your couple three or fours, but that's just because it's the main city. But as
Right.
far as Brazil goes, would you say Brazilian women are loyal and you can actually establish a relationship, or is it just fun only?
So I can tell you this from my experience. And this is another thing that I use to gauge whether or not she was for me, because anybody can say anything on the phone.
Mm.
When I went down there, when we stepped out the first time, uh, we went in public. She latched on my arm like an anaconda. I'm thinking it's because, oh, there's other pretty women around. She didn't just do it around the women that might want me. She did it around the men that might want her.
Hmm.
Mm,
Damn. Damn.
that's a good sign, man.
Right? And this is her. Now, I'll also tell you this as far as the culture is concerned. Recife is the capital of the region, Pernambuco. So it's the only metropolitan area in that area. But a lot of people that are there, that live there or commute there, they live in the country because that's where the schools and the jobs are. So people are living in Recife, but their mentality is still like the rural areas.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much. Muito obrigado.
Hey, obrigado, no
Thank
problem.
thank you, IP,
Great,
brother.
I
great questions
appreciate
there,
you.
Ramel. Thank you, brother. Awesome. Shout out to Mr. Dex for the $199 super chat. What's the sign she isn't for you? ATP. I don't know what ATP means. Dex, let me know in the chat. But let's go. What's the sign she isn't for you,
So
Tony?
basically, like anybody, being dry on the phone, being like not responding in time, basically playing in your face.
Mm,
Mainly, yeah. And we all, and at this point, well, for her specifically, she hasn't given me any signs that she's not for me. Like I said, if she were to, then that's when I'll respond accordingly.
good.
Protect your money, energy, attention, and time. You know,
Mm,
if I were to see a sign that's just if I see were to see an unpleasant disposition, if she would all of a sudden start switching up on me, then I'll be like, nah, we can't do this. I'm done.
brother, do you know what, right? Great answer there. But I want to hear your thoughts on this, right? So the texting game between a Western man and a foreign woman, right? I would say it's different from a Western woman and a
Mm.
Western man, where it's banter, jokes, right? But I'm finding that with foreign women, right, they may text you and it may be dry, but they still like you, but really into you, but they just don't text like a Western woman would. Have you come across that situation before, bro?
Oh, so interesting thing. When she thought that I wasn't coming down, that's when she started to get cold with me. But when she saw that I was, that's when she opened up. If you are somebody who hasn't been down there yet and you're talking to somebody from down there, my advice would be don't spend too much time texting and talking about what you're going to do. Like show receipts that, hey, look, I'm on my way down there. Just to keep just to keep the keep everything going. Um because some of these some people, I guess, they run into a westerner, and this is something that has happened. She her in particular, she said she was dealing with somebody from Sweden, I think, some white dude from Sweden, and he basically played her the whole time. So,
I,
and
mm,
yeah, and so she was kind of leery about, like, are you really coming down or not? But once she saw, oh, there's a plane ticket, oh, there's a boarding pass, oh, he's really coming down, that's when she was like, okay, this is really happening. And then once she saw, like, hey, oh wow, he's in Sao Paulo, his next stop is my town, that's when, she's the one that got nervous.
okay.
So
What
yeah.
what would you define as a dry response or conversation from a foreign woman
A
that
dry
isn't? Mm,
response, like, you say, hey, good morning, how you feeling? And they just say hi. That's dry
mm,
shit.
mm. That's a good point. And would you say someone that doesn't ask you questions, so you ask her questions, but she doesn't ask you questions back? Would you
Right,
take offense?
right.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, okay, yeah, this ain't it. If there's genuine interest, it's gonna be consistent and you're gonna see it. I wouldn't say use the same litmus test as you would a Western woman, but there's some core things from any conversation. You can tell when someone is interested in you and when someone isn't.
And do you think that obviously we know when a West woman is interested in us, right? During texting, she's responding quickly, she's asking you questions, she's happy, doing smiley faces. Um, would you also apply that logic to a foreign woman? But understand that, bro. But they may do things differently in the foreign
Right.
countries. So how do
So
you gauge that?
so with my girlfriend, she typically, she's sending a lot of heart emojis and stuff and a lot of things, and because Brazilian women are pretty passionate, the translations sound like something out of a romance novel when you translate what she's saying, but she genuinely is just, looking out for your well-being, always concerned about your well-being. If she's concerned about things like your health, you know things like that. Things that your typical Western woman really don't care about because Western woman's mindset, you could die today. She just going to dig into her roster, and replace you.
Damn. Damn. Hey, Tony spitting facts here, man. Thank you, Tony. Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's get some more callers in. If no one calls in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna end the stream early.
Okay.
I got all the info I need. I'm all about quality over quantity. Tony's come through with amazing intel on the Patreon as well, and on the live stream as well. Like, if you're not on the Patreon, you're missing out. And Ramel can tell you, if you're not on the Patreon, you are completely missing out. Okay, there are some, some information on the Patreon that will literally help you navigate in a different country for your whole trip. That's not on the YouTube channel. You're missing out. Speak on that, Ramel.
Yeah, absolutely. The Patreon, you're getting such good intel here. Patreon's a whole other ball game, man. Whole other ball game. Speaking of which, I'm gonna ask another question that just popped to my mind. I'm trying to figure out how to keep this PG. So I've done some reading and I read somewhere once that Brazil has been consistently noted and voted as one of the most confident nations in the world. If you caught my drift.
Yes.
Yeah. So the question I wanted to ask is, when you're dating over there, for you, Tony, how do you try and vet to tell the difference between she's just a confident, sexy woman, versus just a straight 304? Because I know in Brazil they're so confident, so passionate. It's just a different culture. Whereas in Asia it's more conservative. Like Brazil, they're very passionate, and sometimes that passion can be confused with being a 304. How do you tell the difference?
The difference is if she walks the street or not. It's basically like that. 304s walk the street down there. They moonlight, that's basically it. As far as my girlfriend, she's just a real confident woman. Obviously, she's incredibly confident, as is the culture. But somebody that plays around, you're going to find them typically, like the brother who came on earlier said, in the larger metro areas, in the larger towns. In the smaller towns like Recife, you're really not going to find too many that act that way, that act like that, because as I like stated earlier, when they're with their partners, they are with their partners. You know what I mean? They inseparable. They glued to them. So
okay, and I know that I see like they don't mind their PDA. Good Brazilian girls be kissing up on you all the time, wherever you are. I like being loved on, brother. I love the passion. I'm all for it. I want to be kissed on, loved on.
spades.
IP says, "Lotion me, baby, lotion me." I'm into that.
Right. Trust and believe. And that's what you get when you got yourself a nice Brazilian woman that is into you. When it's like this. When they're into you, they into you. You know what I mean?
Respect. Thank you, Tony.
No problem. No problem.
Wow, great questions there, Ramel. So only Ramel is our caller for tonight. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up right now. So thank you very much to our guests.
All right.
Mr.
Thanks for having me, man.
No worries, bro. Okay, I've got a super chat real quick, brother. Shout out to Mr. LP for the $5 super chat. He says, "Is there a big cheating culture in Brazil?"
I'm gonna be honest, being that I was only down there for 2 weeks, I cannot necessarily say if there's a big cheating culture in Brazil. I guess there are individuals who might be cheaters or step out, but as far as that's just the thing, that's just the name of the game. Can't say. If there is cheating, I think it's more with the men cheating on the women than vice versa.
That's a good question there and good answer. I think we touched upon that in depthly on the Patreon LP. I'm not sure you're on there, but there's a Brazilian. It wasn't between me and Tony. I did it with a different brother. There's a Brazilian stream on there, right? Part one, part two. Probably one of the best streams I've ever done. or recordings for the Patreon. The intel on that was insane. So when I go Brazil, sometime in the future, I know how to navigate there. I think it was the Brazilian woman Hidden Gems Part 1 or Part 2. But I'm going to drop Part 2 in the chat for you, brothers, if you're interested in knowing the true Brazil. Okay, this is literally combined 3 hours intel on the Patreon, only on the Patreon. So I think that touches upon that. So here it is, brother. This one here. There's a link to it. Okay, awesome. So you got any closing comments, Mr. Tony?
Basically, I want to say thanks for having me. Thanks for all the support in the comments. Like I said, man, I'm glad I did this for, as far as my, taking a trip finally and getting out there and doing it. And for those who haven't done it before, I'm telling y'all, the only thing stopping you is you. Get out there and do it. Get your passport, get your bread right, learn a new marketable skill. Get out there and do it. You have options. You have options outside of the gynosphere,
Yes,
out
indeed.
gynocracy, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to stay in your country, in your community, and deal with Pookie and Ray Ray's leftovers. You don't have to do it. You don't have to stay. You can go out, find yourself a nice woman in any country that you choose, that's not the US or the UK. You can go, East Asia. If not for her latching on to me like an anaconda, I probably would be about to hit up Japan next.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Thank you, Tony, man. Feel free to drop up anytime you want, bro. I'm going to go on for 5 more minutes. I'm
Thanks
going
a
to,
lot, man.
thank you, brother.
That easy.
Appreciate the brother Tony in the building. All right, brother. So great live stream. Gonna wrap it up in the 1 hour mark. So once again, shout out to Ramel for calling in and dropping in great questions for our guests. Much appreciation, Ramel. Shout out to all those who did hit the super chats tonight, man. Please continue to please support me. It is not easy running this YouTube channel. Okay, I do a lot of streams in the early morning, in the night, etc., etc. So any support will be greatly appreciated to run the costs of this channel. Please continue to support. Okay, and I will continue dropping valuable info for you. So if you want to hear the explicit version of this live stream, go on my Patreon. I dropped that literally this week. Go and check it out. It is an eye opener. Okay. I've also got several Brazilian intel on the Patreon that is too dangerous and too explicit for the YouTube man. Right. Just so much intel on there. I just don't want Pookie knowing. Okay. Information that Pookie can never ever get access to. Only for the intelligent brothers, white working collar brothers, blue collar working brothers. Yeah, go and check that. Okay, you will definitely heed and enjoy that intel. All right. So again, if you want to get into IT, I would say book a calendar consultation with me. Okay, to get that done. All right. And get on a plan with me on the Patreon if you want mentorship in regards to how to navigate, the IT scene, how you can break into IT, etc., etc. Yeah, please do so. So more intel in Japan dropping this week, several more videos, and next week too. I'm getting a lot of intel for you brothers about Japan. Okay, so you can have great success there. Find you your wife. Okay, we want to find wives, we want to find girlfriends there. We want to be, passport bros working in IT with our foreign girlfriends, our foreign wives, having big families. That is the dream. Okay, so let's work towards that as black men and as passport bros and as brothers, man. Right now, shout out to the brother Justin who got his first IT job in cybersecurity. I know this brother very well. I mentored him. He's got his first job in cybersecurity. Posted it in my Facebook group, the International Passport Facebook group. He gave thanks to me and Theo for what we do. So we out here changing lives, man. We out here changing lives, okay? Because, you know, we are out here changing the lives of brothers. I have dedicated my time to improve the lives of Black men. Once again, I have dedicated my time, my free time. Okay. I have literally quit when I'm back in the UK, right? I have literally quit, okay, partying, my free time, leisure, right, to uplift and improve the lives of Western Black men. Okay, right? Me and Theo have done that. We want to see Black men be successful. So shout out to Justin for his first IT job in security. Super happy for him. All right. And I'm working on getting more brothers their first job in IT, mentoring them to move on to greater things in the IT career. He's in that industry, he's there forever, and it's only upwards for him. And I want to tap into more Black men, more Black men, more brothers. I'm not a billionaire, right? I'm not some rich Saudi, okay? I'm not, you know, um, I'm not a politician. I don't have power like that. But the little I have, the little that I can do, I'm going to use my energy, my time to improve the lives of Black men and brothers. It's been slow, but there's still progress there. We're moving at a good, steady pace. The YouTube channel has many countries for you to pick what girlfriend you want, what country you want. The Patreon goes even further. How do these women get down in the bedroom with brothers? How do we navigate certain scenes in certain countries? That's on the Patreon. I also teach brothers Python every week. I also mentor brothers about getting into IT. I mean, that's all I can do, man. Only for brothers. Only for brothers. I have literally given away my free time to dedicate my time and resources to improving the lives of Black men in America, in England, in Canada, in Australia, in every other Western country. I don't have a life anymore. Right? I remember back in 2020, 2021, when I was still dating in the West, right? And I had my channel at that time as well. I used to cancel dates. I used to cancel dates just so I could mentor brothers, just so I can catch a call with a brother on a different time zone, man. I'm putting in work for brothers because I want to see brothers dominate IT. I want to see brothers become high value men, and I want to see brothers have power and influence. That's what we're missing as Black men in this world. And I'm going to speak on that a bit further before I end my segment and carry on with my day. Shout out to Mr. Ramel for the third or fourth time tonight. Ramel, thank you, bro, for the support. The £2 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Brazilian and Japanese woman. God's gift to passport, bros. Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. Amazing. Appreciate you, Ramel. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Rhythm for the $5 super chat. Yeah, Patreon is perfect to squeeze out the pookies, send them back home. Thank you, bro. If you're not on the Patreon, I don't know. If you're not on the Patreon, I just don't know. Right? You're missing out. That's all I can tell you. The YouTube channel doesn't compare to the intel on the Patreon. It doesn't come close. right? I'm actually I'm I'm surviving in Japan based on the intel on the Patreon. It has been spot on, right? I got a brother in Vancouver right now. He is surviving. He's getting women, right? Based off a particular recording on my Patreon about how to get women in Vancouver. It's that simple, brothers, man. The choice is yours. So what we're missing here, what we're missing here, brothers, is the power and the influence in this world, man. I've always said this, man. We're missing influence in the industries that run this world. What industries run this world? IT, law, medicine, finance, okay, and politics. Forget about entertainment, forget about movie stars, rappers, all that nonsense. They don't run ish. Those five fields we need to get black men into eventually, but I'm focusing on IT. But I'm focusing on IT. Tech is the future. IT and tech is the future. It is the now and it is the future. And I want to flood black men into that industry. And it's happening slowly but surely. Again, shout out to you, Justin, man. You got your first IT job. Only upwards there for you, brother. I would consider AI a part of tech, bro. I want black men flooding that too. And AI plays a part in cloud, cybersecurity, etc., etc. So we good either way, man. Now you brothers have purpose. Now you brothers have something to work towards to. Now you have a dream. Because I speak to brothers who don't have a dream, who don't know what to do. I'm lost. Now they got a dream. Tech, IT, foreign women, getting that passport, establishing yourself all around the world. And when you get into IT, right, there's also a particular recording on my Patreon where Theo breaks down how he took his IT money and invested it into stocks and other bits of businesses that made him even more money. I mean, brothers, I'm setting you up for success. Theo is setting you up for success. And shout out to you, Theo, man, if you're listening or not, brother. I'm putting in work, hours upon hours, for the betterment of brothers worldwide. I remember the I've been in previous jobs, right? When I just used to see, Indian men, white men flexing in their big cars, their big watches, fancy suits, and I hardly ever saw black men, in that space. That used to hurt me, man. I would just be sitting down having lunch, wearing, average clothes, t-shirt, with some jeans and some shoes, and then watching these rich men walk past. And it's always the same color of men, always the same faces. I'm like, damn, I wish one day I can see black men doing that. But until I woke up and realized that only I can make that change. And I'm making this change through this channel, pushing black men towards tech and IT, telling black men to have a purpose, believe in yourself. You can do it. Just keep pushing, man. You fail that exam once, go through it again. You fail it again, go for the exam again until you pass. Push. I want black men to have a expansive, dominating, powerful mindset. I want brothers to run stuff, man, to work together. And with this channel, we got black men working together, man. On my Discord, we got brothers literally discussing stocks, crypto, working together, IT. I mean, what does that tell you, man? Right? The next black billionaire, right, is coming from this channel. I declare and decree the next black billionaire, whoever you are, okay, whoever you are, is coming from this channel, okay? It's gonna be a passport, bro, because we have the smartest black men in the West right now in this space, and I'm super, super, super happy. Okay, let's go. Shout out to Mr. LP for the $5 super chat. Props IP for your continued support for black men. LP, thank you for the kind words, bro. Much appreciation, brother. Much appreciation. So, brothers, man, look forward to you watching more of my Japan content. Please make sure you watch it, and please make sure you like the videos of my Japan content and comment. The more engagement you engage with my videos, the better for the channel, so it can actually be promoted to other brothers who need this intel, okay? The right brothers. So every time I drop a video upload, watch the video, like the video, comment, share with your friends. That's how we're going to get this channel to the right brothers, etc., etc. Okay, so fantastic, man. um let's go. All right, brothers. Yeah, I wish you the best on this in the coming days. Have a great day ahead, and I'll see you brothers on the next video I drop. Peace out, brothers. Thank you very, very much.